Hi and welcome to my channel. On my channel I will be uploading regularly perfume and fragrance related content. I know I'm competing with a lot of perfume channels out there, but I'm possibly a little bit different because I really go in depth to each fragrance because I think it's really important, and I hope that I can give you some kind of overview um, of the fragrance itself before you go out and buy. Now, I don't ever suggest that you go and blind buy. I do blind buy, and I have, but I've been disappointed more than I've been happy with my purchase. So I would always suggest getting samples or going into a store, because a lot of the stores are open, and sniffing and wearing the fragrance. That's very important. Not just on the strip, get it on your body and see how it performs. So these three fragrances are summer related fragrances, clean and fresh kind of. But all of these fragrances, all three, I didn't actually buy a full bottle. So I'm going to run through the fragrance, each fragrance itself, and then I'm going to tell you why I didn't go and buy a full-size bottle. Okay, so the first fragrance is Prada La Femme, and comes in a little sample here. The bottle is fantastic. I have to say, I'll just remove it from there. And before we get started on Prada La Femme, let's find out what the notes are. Okay, so we're going to give this a spray. Ooh, 2 will do. This is a floral oriental accord, allegedly. Now, bearing in mind, I've smelt this already, but I'm just giving myself a reminder. Now, yes, this fragrance doesn't follow the rules, especially saying it's a summer scent. It's kind of a contradiction. So it's not particularly refreshing. Instead, it has a warmth to it. And yet, I still class it as a clean fragrance. Yeah. Now, there's a few notes, but there is beeswax, and that stands out for me. And the beeswax is in the base, and it is detectable, especially in the dry down. And the fragrance has a soapy feel, I think. And I really see the colour yellow or warm sunshine when I smell this. So it does shout summer, to be fair. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those fragrances, but that beeswax is the star of the show. Now, why didn't I buy? Well, although it's kind of on my radar, that's why I got the sample, because I do like clean fragrances. I have a lot in my collection, and it just doesn't hit the mark for me. And it's not that I don't like it. I think the main reason why I didn't buy this fragrance is because, to me, it's a little bit too much mature. Or should I really say I'm just probably a little bit immature for the fragrance. It's expensive smelling, but a little bit too mature for me. Now, I'm nearly 50. Next year I'll be turning 50. So I'm no spring chicken, but it's just maybe not exciting enough for me. But there again, I'm not a lover of florals, and there is, magnolia, frangipani, tuberose, and there is iris, which I think gives it a softness. And I tell you what, though, the dry down on this is particularly nice. I really like that, and it has a creaminess to it. And I don't know whether you've smelt the gentleman's version, Prada La Femme. That's a fantastic clean fragrance, but it's more ice cold out of the shower kind of fragrance, nice and clean and fresh. This is more a warming, soapy bubble bath kind of Yeah, body cream, and yeah, and it wasn't for me, so that's why I didn't buy it. It's not that I didn't like it, I just thought it was maybe a little bit too serious for me. Um, Lasting power, it doesn't last as long as I would have liked, and although the dry down is wonderful, but it becomes more of a skin scent within 2 hours. But that's just a quick overview of Prada La Femme and why I didn't buy. On to the next one. Okay, so we're going to start with this one here, and this is Miracle by Lancome. And before we start, we'll just go through the notes. Miracle by Lancome. Let's give this a spray, shall we? 2 will do. Just leave that. Ooh. This is classed as a spicy, sweet floral. And I immediately smell that magnolia. Even though it's not in the top notes, I can smell it, and it's prominent. And I have to say, people might be put off by the having magnolia in this, but they've been really clever here, Lancome, because it's not that, old-fashioned kind of smell. It really is a modern take on magnolia. Hats off to them, I must say. Hats off. It's not dated at all. And that pepper note, there is pepper in this, and it gives it that spiciness and warmth, and possibly the ginger is giving that spiciness too. Yeah. I'm envisioning I'm envisaging like sunshine on a Caribbean beach here. It's again a clean fragrance, but more of a warm sea, watery breeze than a cool one, if you understand. It's not a heady floral, which is good because I don't particularly like those headache inducing florals at all. And it's less in your face. And I can see ladies who don't even like florals possibly enjoying this one. Yeah, I like it. I do like it. And the reason I didn't buy this fragrance was because my husband didn't like it. Now, I don't usually take any notice of a word he says, but I kind of thought, okay, he doesn't like it. And although I do like it myself, I don't love it. And I think now that I'm quite well into buying fragrances regularly, I have to really like something, not just like or it's okay. It has to really be something special or grab my attention at least. So that's the reason why I didn't buy this. But I have to say, it really is a nice fragrance. And I can see a lot of ladies out there liking it. And if I were you, I would grab yourself a sample or indeed go into the store somewhere and give this a spray. Wear it on you. Now, lasting power, if I remember rightly, it does have a nice sillage, but it lasts about 3 to 4 hours, and then it becomes a skin scent. It doesn't change a lot. It doesn't change a lot really from the first kind of dry down. It doesn't kind of develop and grow into something different. It is what it is. And I do actually like this fragrance. And the reason I didn't buy it, blame my husband. He said he didn't. And I thought, yeah, okay. And I didn't love it enough to grab a bottle. Okay. So let's move on to the final sample. Okay, so we're on to the final sample here. And this is Florabotanica by Balenciaga. And before we start, we better find out what the notes are. Okay, so let's get this sprayed. Again, I've already sampled this and I didn't buy a full-size bottle. So let's go through this, shall we? Okay. Yeah, just reminding myself. Yeah. Okay. So this has got a lot of attention on YouTube. I'd noticed, and I think that was probably one of the reasons why I bought the sample in the first place. It's classed as a floral green fragrance, and one of the notes is mint, and you get that straight away as soon as you spray it. Now, I'm going to be a little bit controversial here, but the reason why it got so much hype, I think, is because it had this, or stipulated that it had a cannabis note in the fragrance. And maybe I'm being controversial here, but I really can't smell any cannabis whatsoever. I don't even know if that's true, to be fair. I can detect a greenness, but it's not leafy. It's more mossy than anything. And I pick up a lot of carnation. And unfortunately for me, and this is only personal preference, I think carnations can also smell kind of woodsy and honeyed, and it's not particularly a scent that I enjoy. Okay. But it does marry well with that mossiness that I'm detecting, but I'm certainly not detecting cannabis. So I would love to know whether this really does have that note in it. I know it's on Fragrantica, but I've seen nowhere on the website that says that it does. So I'm kind of not convinced. It's pretty green. It's a green fragrance. And why didn't I buy? Well, in all honesty, I just didn't like it. I'm not a lover of florals in the first place. They have to be very gentle and very well blended and not too heavy, so you can kind of get my drift of where I'm coming from. But this particular one was kind of trying to be too clever, maybe. Maybe it's kind of been trying to be hip and maybe more urban and hipster. I really don't know, but it's not something I would want on my skin. It doesn't scream floral beauty. You know, it doesn't scream femininity. I don't know what it's trying to achieve, but it's certainly not a fragrance that I will be purchasing ever, I don't think. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. And I don't know, sometimes fragrancing can be classed as, some fragrances can be classed as kind of cool and hot right now. And I was kind of tempted to just go ahead and buy a bottle, but I didn't. And I'm so pleased I didn't. And I won't be. It's probably out of the three, the most unenjoyable out of all of the others that I've talked about. There's just something grassy about it. And I don't want to smell of grass. And I don't mean grassy that way. I mean cut grass. I just don't. It's not feminine for me. I really don't enjoy it. I'd love to know your thoughts on if I'm said something that you know that you agree with, or even if you don't, maybe you love this fragrance. But if you do love this fragrance, tell me why, because I can't see what the hype is. I really can't see it. Well, that's my three samples here. All three are kind of floral summer spring fragrances, with a cleanness to them, but all very different. Is there any that's caught your eye here? I mean, out of them, I think I preferred the Miracle by Lancome. Out of all of the three that I've talked about, I think I preferred that one. But Prada La Femme is a nice fragrance. It's just not me. I'm a bit immature and a bit silly, and this is pretty serious, I think, and grown up. I need to grow up. Well, thanks for your time. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and you'll be notified each time I upload. And thanks very much for watching.